Welcome to Impacting Jamaica, where we shine the spotlight on the many but often ignored positive happenings, activities, projects and investments at every level across every sector to inspire, motivate and excite people everywhere. Impacting Jamaica is powered by the Philip and Christine Gore Family Foundation, the Jamaica Public Service Company, Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, Red Stripe, Kyramed and Proven Investments Limited.
Welcome to Impacting Jamaica. I am Tamika Gordon, and I'm speaking today with Mrs. Ingrid Murray, a Jamaican businesswoman based in New York. Her company, Prospect Cleaning Service, has been ranked at 1001 by the Inc. 5000 magazine for 2022. This is a tremendous accomplishment for a minority-owned business. Mrs. Murray's company was also voted New York's best woman-owned business for 2021. Today, she's sharing the story of how she came to these accomplishments, as well as imparting some gems for our budding entrepreneurs, especially female-headed enterprises. Thank you, Mrs. Murray, for joining us.
You are welcome. Hi, everybody. I'm Ingrid.
We are, so we're glad that you could have found the time to speak with us today. So we actually want to start by talking a little bit about your background. Tell us where you're from, where in Jamaica did you grow up, and what was life like for you as a child?
Okay, I was born in Whitfield Town in Kingston 13. I don't remember anything about that time, but I remember we moved from Waterloo, from South Avenue. I remember living in South Avenue, and I used to attend Jamaica House Basic School, and that school experience was wonderful. I get to meet the Prime Minister at the time, and I got to fly in a helicopter for the first time. I think when I was around 5, something like that. Yeah. But anyway, I moved to Duhaney Park in 1982, I think it was. And most of my, time was in Duhaney Park and going to church at the Andrews Memorial Church. And my father worked there, my mom worked there. And so I used to also attend Kingsway High School because I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. And of course, we went to church every Saturday, and I went to this school. I never liked it at all. But anyway, yeah, for the most part. And growing up in Jamaica, it was fun. Growing up in Duhaney Park, that was so much fun. I had so many wonderful experiences. I was part of the Police Youth Club, Patrick Gardens Police Youth Club, and did so many amazing things there. I also went to Jamaica to George Headley Primary School. So from Jamaica House Basic School, we moved, and then we went to Duhaney Park, and I went to George Headley Primary. And from George Headley Primary, I went to Kingsway High School. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Did you always think that you wanted to be a business owner? As a child growing up, is that something you were thinking?
No, as a child growing up, I wanted to be an economist.
Interesting.
Yes. I always wanted to be an economist. That's what I said. And when I got pregnant with my first child, I was 19, graduated from high school the previous year. And I got a job in an accounting firm at that time. So that's where my accounting journey started. So yeah, that's where my accounting journey started. But I did many jobs before that. It's kind of weird that you asked me that question. So my mom was a dressmaker. My dad was an upholsterer. So entrepreneurs have always been in my family. that aspect. I guess you never see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in Jamaica, we don't use that term. we say business owner, we say hustler. Or something to that effect. But we don't polish it up so nice and say entrepreneur. You know, so my mom used to make suck in the summertime, and we used to sell suck. She used to sell ice cream. And when my mom came to America in 1991, I continued on. I used to do gift basket. Like this time of the year, I've been doing my Valentine's gift basket, getting ready to sell for Valentine's Day. And I would prepare these things and so on and so forth. But I was always doing something, always. So I went to Excelsior Community College, and I did my associates in business administration. But while going there, I didn't go there for that, which is weird. I was watching television and I saw this guy who did nails. I think his name was Kirk, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember his name so good. If I'm not mistaken, it's Kirk. And he taught nail technology at Excelsior Community College, and I went there so I could learn how to do that, because I used to always love nails and hair and stuff like that. So I went there, and lo and behold, I found this big school, and they did so many other things, and I got intrigued, and I decided that I wanted to do a degree in business. And I would go to Kirk in the daytime. I would do business administration, my associates in that, and I would stay, and then he had night classes, and I would stay until 9 o'clock, school over. So I'm at school from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day for about 6 weeks or something like that.
How did you manage that? How was that balancing act?
Lord have mercy, that was so hard because I had a child at the time. So when I go away, I don't go home back until 9 o'clock. But what happened, the plan behind that was that I could not afford to pay for my college. So what I decided to do was to learn the nail technology, and then I was going to start a nail business and do that in the day, switch it around. So I would do the nail tech, and then that would give me the money to fund the degree in business administration. So I went to him and I asked him, I said, you can just show me how to put on the acrylic. And him said, no, you have to come. If you want me to show you, you have to be there. You have to come to the program. So what I did now, I stand up and I watch him. When I get break time from the other school, I would go over there and I watch him working and take notes and, watch him. And then that same weekend, I went to Sassy's at it was Clock Tower. They were, if it's not Clock Tower, is York Plaza. And I bought this stuff. And then I practice, try. And then, so I would put on the nails and take them off, put them on and take them off, put them on, take them off, shape my nail and all of that till I got it to perfection. I do this every single day for a week. And the next week I went to Allied Cable Vision with my mock-up and tell them that I want to advertise a business. And I asked somebody for the money, and they gave me the money to pay for the advertisement. Mm-hmm. And I did an advertisement that there's a nail technician at Q Building in Duhaney Park, which is just 1 week me take and learn the steps. So I don't really have a nail technician's license or any form certificate, but the practical sense is there. Mind you, I am just using this cheat sheet while I go to school. So I'm still going to learn the whole process of nail technology and all of that, which I did. But I kind of put the horse before the cart before the horse and advertised my business. And crazily enough, it worked. I had many clients and I was able to pay both my nail technician tuition and my tuition for the business administration degree.
So it seems you've always been very focused and very driven.
Yes.
Is there anything from your childhood that you would accredit this to?
Church.
How so?
So when I go into Andrew's church, you have a lot of affluent people, and we would say back then society people. And every year I would hear them call up names of people from the church who were going away to college. So people got accepted into school overseas, and they would migrate or come to America to go to school. Mm-hmm. And family were always so proud, you know. You hear this and, you know, this name's called because this person graduated from school and they're going to go away to college. And my parents never asked me which college me want for God, and they've never asked me a question like that. I remember my father asked me what I want to do when I grow up, but that was basically it. There was never no plan. Like, okay, you're going to go to school and you're going to do this and we're working towards this, that, and the third. And I would not consider myself to be a very bright child. I wasn't. And I never had nobody to help me with homework or stuff like that. When you hear about reading a book, it was always a form of punishment. You do something wrong, your mother said, go and go read a book. You know, so it wasn't something that you did with any form of joy. But I've always been a child that wanted to be bigger than life. I think that was it. And so, you know, you want to have these experiences you see these society kids have and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that experience of hearing the names of people being called out, other students being called out who were going abroad, motivated you to stay on that path to achieving that. Okay, let's jump into now how you got into the line of business that you are presently in and the accomplishments of your company. Did you set out to start a business in this industry, or did you stumble upon an opportunity? How did it come to be?
I stumbled upon an opportunity. So I call myself the fixer because I always fixing something for somebody. So whether it be a situation or something practical. But anyway, I came to America in 2008 to find my daughter who was kidnapped from me in 2000. And I found her, and that's another story that can't be, trust me, you guys don't have the time. That's number one. And number two, it's a real technical story. But anyway, she was kidnapped from me, and I found her in 2008. So I came to America to get her back. And when I came, you know, I would go back and forth after I got her back and everything, coming back and forth in America. 2009, on my next visit here, I was supposed to get a job and I didn't get the job. Somebody told me about a job in Florida. And then when I went to Florida, no job. So anyway, I went back to Philly where my mom lived. Instead of coming back home to Jamaica, I went to Philly. And a friend of mine told me that she had something for me in New York. So I said, New York, but we are going to stay. And she said, you can't stay with me, man. So I said, you sure? And she said, yes. Anyway, she got a job for me in a bar. And when I was going to work that day, she told me, she said, oh, my landlord go to the bar, you know. I'm telling him, say, must make sure, say, him tip you and met the guys and let the guys them tip you too. So I said, okay. When I was leaving to go to work, this man was coming inside the building. And him was smiling at everything. And he said, where y'all go?
Oh, so this is how you met your husband?
Yeah.
Right. So it got to the point where you actually took over the business from him.
Yeah. So I took over. So, you know, I met him that day. Everything was such a whirlwind. And I spent a month with him and came back home to Jamaica. And then the following year, I went back in March of 2010, and he asked me to stay. And I was like, oh God, you know. But anyway, we got involved. I did stay. We got married shortly after, say and I was able to apply for my green card, send for my kids and all of that. Everything happened within a 6 months period. Crazily. It just happened like that. He had
he had a business before.
Yeah.
What was that business that he had? And tell me now how you got to be taking it over and how you came to be at the helm of that business.
So he had he did carpet cleaning and house cleaning. He had a few commercial clients too. But one day we went to clean the house of a hoarder, and this person's house was looking terrible. And after we pack up all this stuff and, to get all this stuff, if you guys watch hoarders on TV, trust me, people really do live like that. And after we did that, I was so, I don't know, it really affected me. And I was like, no, man, I don't want to clean up the body house. We have to find out different ways. I said, why you don't do commercial? And him say, you can't just, I said, why you don't work with the government? And him say, you can't just work with the government. And secondly, the government take long for pay. You have to wait how much months before you get your money and all of that. And so I tell him, say, no, man, you can't do it. I said, better say if I had this business, I wouldn't be doing this. I would turn it a different way. And we made a bet that if he gave me the business, I would grow the business within a year. And if after a year and I grow the business, that he couldn't get any of the money, of the extra money, put it that way, and him take up the challenge. But I didn't know.
You didn't keep that part of the bargain.
No.
You grew the business, but you still gave him some of the money.
Of course, we were together and it is his business. And then in 2012, he got cancer. This was the first time he was going battle with cancer. And of course, he was a little bit out of it. He wasn't interested in doing this anymore. And that's when he officially signed it over to me. So unofficially, it wasn't recorded. So at this point in time, he made a decision to actually, do it. I was doing good within the first year. I doubled the revenue. At the time, it was 77,000. And next year, I was making close to 150-something thousand a year. Then 1 year, we got a call. They wanted a MWBE to do some bus stops.
What is that?
So it's minority and woman-owned business enterprise. So you needed to be certified in that. Had a state certification or a city certification or a New Jersey Port Authority certification in it. So you could have got certified from any one of those entities. And I decided, so I was not qualified. So the lady told me about it and I said, tell me more about it. And she did. And I went for the application. Now, most people who went for this application, the application process would take them close between 6 months to a year. For everybody that I heard that did this application process and to get the certification took that long. But what I did, I stayed home, read through all the documents that they wanted. Now, we had a company, but we didn't have any board of directors. You didn't have any corporate secretary. You didn't have any company bylaws. You didn't have all that. So you incorporated the business, but yet you didn't have all these, titles filled or even have it in the play. You just had the name, created a website, and you have your bank account and you go and work. So now this pushed us to actually structure the business properly. So what I did initially that year, I used family members that were over 18 and put their name down. So I would say his daughter, he had four older children. So I put their name as the corporate secretary. I put myself as the chairman because I realized I could be the chairman and the president because those are the two people who would still control the majority of the business and can make decisions on the business. I put my daughter as the corporate secretary and stuff like that. And, treasurer. But none of these people knew how to actually to
fill these roles.
Yes, they didn't know. But what I did was that. So then, by then, I was attending college in the States, Medgar Evers College, because when you come here, you realize that a lot of people come to America with their degree and stuff like that, and trust me, it's like you don't have nothing. You still have to start from scratch. So because I actually did not have a bachelor's degree from Jamaica, I did have my associates, but I didn't have a bachelor's. So I took the credits and I went to Medgar Evers College and I obtained my bachelor's degree. So my accounting professor, I actually hired him, not hired, I asked him if he would fill the capacity of an advisor. So I had a board of advisor, but I did not have a board of director.
We're taking a break now to hear from our sponsors.
Searching for a one-stop solution to all your facilities maintenance needs? Visit Manpower Maintenance Services Sales and Distribution Center. We stock a wide range of COVID-19 washroom cleaning and other supplies, gardening tools, chemicals, and more. Our experts are always ready to give you the best advice. Manpower Maintenance Services Sales and Distribution Center, 14 Collins Green Avenue, Kingston, Freeport Commercial Center, Montego Bay, and 33 Ward Avenue, Mandeville. Visit or call us today, 876-920-4721-5.
Grace has been part of some special moments over the years, helping to make them, well, more memorable, even when they're a little bit unexpected. And with 100 years of great taste behind us, you can be sure we'll be making even more moments for 100 years to come. Grace, taste that moves you.
John, me know you in there. Me want know when lights are come back. I know Pinky this time.
Keisha, just like me tell Pinky, give JPS your number and then we'll send your text with them things here. So you can't stop, knock me door.
What you mean?
DMR call JPS and tell them to add your phone number to your account and you will know everything all the time.
You never ask. Send your current contact information and always be in the know. Visit jpsco.com for more info.
Welcome back to our podcast.
So you had to fill all of these positions and structure the business in such a way so that you would be qualified to pick up the contracts that you were being invited to take up. So you were able to get all of that in place. But how did it make you feel? Were you daunted at the task of taking over the business? And if so, how did you manage to overcome all of that? Just the thought of moving his business, because I remember you said you had a challenge with him, you made a bet. But were you at all, afraid or nervous about it? And how did you navigate those early years?
No, because I love to compete. So I have to prove that I can do this. So I was welcoming the challenge, to be honest with you, because it felt good. Number one, it felt good to say you own a business. So that was one thing. Number two is actually when putting these roles together, it made it sound official and it sound bigger than it really is, if you get what I'm saying. And you realize, okay, this can, and what I did, I went to meet people that could help me. So I would go online, do my research, find mentorship programs, realize that the state offered some. Didn't like the ones that the state offer at the time because they weren't structured properly. And the people who were teaching your stuff were other business owners who actually failed at many things, which is the right way to go. But I didn't like, they weren't, practice what they're preaching. Them telling you one thing, but they're not doing that. So you didn't have the trust. For me, I didn't have the trust in them. And then things were lagging behind because I'm the kind of person, I don't have patience. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it. No, I cannot wait. If you're going to tell me to wait, then may have a problem.
So you weren't daunted and you weren't nervous at the challenge. You saw it as
No.
you saw it as your way of competing and showing everybody that you could do that.
Yeah.
What are some of the traits that you think that female business owners need to have in order to break through glass ceilings?
Some of them is knowing your capabilities, accepting that you can do it, and don't be, people going to tell you no. Don't accept the no. Mind you, no is good. And I have seen where no's have opened a lot of doors. However, I think that you must have that drive. You must find your why. The reason why I want to do this is, and you don't just stop there. If you see that, because in America, there is gender bias. There is so many kind of bias here. I think it's home as well, but I didn't see us, I guess because I never had to deal with it back home, but here it was so obvious. Like people put this.
That's one of my other questions I wanted to ask you. How do you compare, because you held a number of roles before you went to America, how do you compare being a business operator in Jamaica to being a business operator in the States? Are there any parallels or any lessons that you could impart?
Well, the same thing. People are going to look down on you, whether you're able to do this or not. And they tend to cast that shadow of doubt on you because they don't know you. But you know you. So you don't let them put you in this box and put you in a corner to say, this is what you're supposed to do. I was the only female driver on Nagahead. Going to Endshire in 2010.
So that was when you left one of the roles that you had and decided that you had to run some taxi in the meantime to just pay some bills.
Right. Because I was the junior accountant at I was the group accountant for UGI and responsible for 37 of MWBE subsidiaries. And I was when I just applied for the job, I told him that I was about to go on my vacation. And they asked me to start right away. And I said, okay. But when June come, between June 7th and whatever, it was going to be the first time my mom was returning to Jamaica since she left in 1991. So it was 17 years later that she's going to come back. So I told them that I needed the time off to be with her. Unfortunately, before that time, I fell off my stairs and fractured my foot. And I had to take a week off. So when the time come from my mom now, he was like, no, I already gave you a week off to deal with your injury, so I can't give you the additional time. For me, I was not going to settle, and I decided that
you just ended up leaving the job.
I just leave my job. Trust me, it don't make sense, but I just left my job because I had to be able to spend time with my mother because I didn't see her for so long, and a lot of things happened in my life where she wasn't there, and I just knew that I wanted to spend that time with her.
But then you realized that you had some bills that you needed to pay.
Right. So after the lady gone home now, she come for her 2 weeks vacation and she gone her yard. What now? And my daughter was attending Landerman's prep at the time, so I have tuition for school fee for pay and all of them something there. And the car, I just bought the car. Literally just bought the car. Like the month before I left the job. So one month payment I pay on the car and leave the job. So now I'm going to pay for the car. So one day, the weirdest thing is that every morning when I was going to work, I would never leave Hellshire Park because now at this point, I'm now living in Hellshire. And I would never leave Hellshire and go to Aftertree with my car empty. Never, not even one time. Every morning, my car full of people, let them off a Aftertree, or if people go in New Kingston, somewhere there. And so I said, no, I can't run that taxi. Well, when I got there that first day to run my taxi, nobody don't want to go into my car.
Because it was free before, but now they had to pay. Was that
No,
why?
they want to pay. But at the same driving, nobody no look at me, as a taxi driver. I got my PPP, got my red plate and all of them something there, because they must say, yeah, turn your car in a taxi. I say, yeah, you look, it's just a car, and this is not the best car. It was a Nissan Sunny. So
let's talk a little bit now, though, about the accomplishment of the ranking by the Inc. 5000 magazine and what this has meant for your company. What has it really allowed you to do, and what has it meant? How is it having gotten this accreditation or this recognition?
Well, this is super big because there are so many businesses that are open each year in America. Every day somebody starts a new business, and getting this ranking is not something that I had set out to do. This wasn't a goal that I was aspiring to. I saw the application and I'm like, okay, since I've had this business from 2011 all the way up, like every year is growth. The growth has been constant growth. I've never been.
Has the accomplishment of the ranking allowed you to grow financially or expand? What has it really meant in terms of operationally for you?
Operationally, yes, because now you get into a different stratosphere. If you're going to find bigger companies that are not going to question your capability to provide them with service, because if you're able to grow your business that well, you are able to take on the challenge of servicing their needs. And everybody know when I start a new contract, there's a lot of things involved. I have to purchase equipment, I have to staff it, and that means money, because you're not going to get paid until 30 days later or maybe 60 days later, because for most corporate offices, what's going to happen, you can't get paid before you do the work, because I provide a service. So what's going to happen is I go provide the service, you send out a bill at the ending of the month, maybe the first of the following month, and then you're going to wait 30 days to get your money. So it's 60 days that you're gone, while you had to pay your staff. During that time, you probably had 4 pay periods during those 60 days that you had to pay your team. Mm-hmm. So they want to know that you're financially capable. You can afford to purchase insurance to protect their assets and all of those things. So it opens door, It has
allowed you to reach a wider cross-section of clientele or a different level of clients.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What are 2 lessons that you had to learn as a business operator that you would want to impart to young female entrepreneurs?
Well, in America, one thing I can tell you, credit is important. So you need to take that seriously. Having a good credit, be able to pay your bills, knowing how to budget, knowing your numbers. A lot of people go in business and don't know how to calculate. They can't tell you if the business is profitable or not. Everything. I have to call my accountant. And this is mainly women. Mainly, a lot of women is in this world. I don't know how to do this. So everything they want to know, they have to call their accountant. Or if your accountant doing everything right. Or if your accountant is telling you the truth. So understanding, I believe that every female who's going into business needs to understand that, what's the difference between expenditure and income, and what is actual profit as opposed to revenue. So your sales might be $100, but that's not your profit. That's the money that you bring in, you understand? But after your expenses, what is left is your profit. Are you owing people money, or are you able to stay in the green and stuff like that? So you need to have that. Another thing is stay determined. Like I said, find your why. What is the reason that I want to do it? I don't want to do it because my friend doing it or because this is what everybody doing. Find something that you like, and remember, anything can be turned into cash. Anything. Any idea you have, it can be monetized. It's just how you present it.
Mm-hmm. What is your personal strategy, your personal success strategy? Is there something that you do or a trait that you think you have that you think you've applied to your business, personally that you've seen that made a difference?
I think my impatience has worked wonders for me, not necessarily wanting to wait all the time. I do have to wait, but I have to be forced to wait. If it's by choice, I'm not waiting. I'm doing this today. I'm doing this now. I'm going to try. Even if it fails, I tried. I did it. And it never worked out. It not bother me. I've lost money. When we talk about serious money, thousands and thousands of dollars. But listen, it doesn't faze me because I have gained so much knowledge and insight, and I know that, okay, this mistake I won't make again. And some things I would still do the same way. I just now have a better understanding that, okay, the timing might have been wrong. It wasn't the idea. It was just the time. So my patience have worked wonders for me, as well as, yes, it has cost me some, but it won't change my perspective on doing acting when I'm ready. Right now, I started 3 new businesses in December, 3. And these were ideas that came about. And the same day I had the idea, the same day I registered the company. The next day I created the logo and all of that and started to sourcing raw material in order to manufacture and to bring this product. The following day, I had a space in my office that I decided I'm going to use my conference room, and I move out all the furniture out of my conference room and put them on another side and make another side of my space smaller. I started, and this is a new store for me. So, I mean, doing that, just being ready. The idea come, I'm not going to sit on it and let it fall by the wayside, because I've learned that procrastination is actually the way to hell, and I take it serious. If I wait, maybe somebody else going to come and do it. So like I tell you, I love to compete, and I compete a lot with me, not anybody else, because I feel, I have that confidence and so on, and it has worked for me over the years.
Just, quickly before we wrap up, is there one thing that you think that Jamaica should do or could do to foster the growth of more entrepreneurs, particularly females?
Of course, find ways to offer people grants so that they can, have startups, give people access to opportunities, and people entrust yourself into learning new skills, developing your mind and your physical attributes, what you're able to contribute, and use it in a positive way. Older folks, let us stop keeping the information to ourselves, pass it on. We have a thing where we stereotype the young people. We say, a lot of them don't want to learn nothing. Share it with them. Share them the things. We used to, back in the day, I remember as a child, people used to tell stories. People stop telling stories now. Continue to tell stories, because they do make a difference, and it's important. And young people, listen to the elders. You can take bits and pieces as they fit in, because the time might change, but there are some things that remain constant.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Impacting Jamaica is powered by the Philip and Christine Gore Family Foundation, Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, the Jamaica Public Service Company, Red Stripe, Caramed, and Proven Investments Limited. If you or anyone you know is involved with projects and activities that excite, motivate, and encourage, send us an email to impactingjamaica@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Do join us again for another in the series on Google Podcast, Audible, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and Stitcher. You can also visit us at impactingjamaica.com.